to give myself downtime is often a problem I have. I have this deep-seated lack of esteem and self-worth that I compensate for by trying to desperately feel good at something. So I do everything. Every moment of my day has to be productive to compensate for what I think is my failure to succeed, despite, surviving through trauma, disability, a global pandemic, learning to teach primary age math. I've been suffering with significant burnout this year. I returned to teaching in the middle of a pandemic and tried to balance returning to the working world with everything that I did for those 2 years I was out because of my disability. So this holiday I gifted myself the present of spending a week replaying Mass Effect Legendary Edition.
You were born to do this.
And a thoroughly good time was had. I tend to prefer RPGs in video gaming, and there's something about a Bioware game that isn't quite like others. Maybe it's the world building. Maybe it's about how developed and real the characters you encounter are.
Sprayed us down with riot foam. Didn't work so well on me.
And why's that?
'Cause I was on fire, from the car. Come on, Shepard, keep up.
Maybe it's that Bioware do a little bit more than the absolute bare minimum in representing queer and diverse communities.
I lost a lot of friends that day. I lost my husband.
And I know that Mass Effect Legendary Edition was cynically deployed to try and avert the limited attention of the gaming community away from the egregious issues at Bioware lately, but I do love returning to my ragtag bunch of space doofuses. I like how frustrated the Mako makes me. I want a refund from the Citadel. I own a cuddly talking Elcor that asks to be protected from Reapers. Mass Effect 2 is probably one of my single favourite gaming experiences. It's a shame then that returning to playing it as an older, slightly wiser adult, that I found myself feeling alienated from the world that had once so engaged me, as my female shepherd ran around the various worlds, so carefully explained in the codex, so meticulously designed so you run doing that one straight route. I was struck with how male this galaxy is. In the original trilogy, there's very little chance of encountering female members of the various alien species. Oh, there are regular mentions of women, their sisters, their wives, their daughters, but their existence is that. Mentioned. Most aren't seen until the final game, where we get one female Krogan, one female Solarian. Oh, but there's 2 female Turians, optional female Turians, in DLC content. There are no female Drell, Vorcha, Batarians, Volus, Alcor. The Hana are completely genderless, which is interesting, and the Asari are monogendered. They may have female pronouns, but they don't consider themselves as existing within the binary expectation of gender. The only races represented on equal lines are humans and Quarians. Oh, there are plenty of in-universe reasons, silly, as to why there's no women. The Krogans are victims of the genophage, a bioweapon that artificially keeps their fertility and fetus viability low, so all the women Krogans live in isolated clans so that they're safe and they don't see the outside world. On the Solarian home planet, only their fertilised eggs produce female children, so 90% of all Solarians are male, and the women live in these cloisters where they're diplomats and they get well respected. The Volus don't like to discuss the concept of gender, and they lie about their customs, so it's not possible to know their status under their suits. But for the other races, where are their women? The Turians, who are one of the most important alien groups in the world of Mass Effect, have what is supposed to be an entirely meritocratic society that is described as being the most progressive in the entire galaxy. But you don't see any women in it. There are reasons, of course. There's the development time, the memory budget. It's difficult to support different character models of the same species. What about the art director? It was really difficult to come up with how to differentiate female faces from male and create sexual dimorphism for 5 different species. I mean, there was time to make sure there was plenty of Asari exotic dancers.
I can appreciate her dancing in an aesthetic manner, but I don't have feelings of... She is a lovely shade of blue.
And to create over 100 different highly detailed weapon designs, and an entire third game that had to account for the fates of over 10 different characters and decisions from 2 different games. Female faces, female bodies, it's too hard. Even when we do see female aliens, their bodies and faces are covered. The female Krogan in the third game has her entire head and body covered because she's a shaman, so they don't have to give her a character model. The female Solarian, long robe again, long ceremonial robes. The Quarians are designed to be entirely covered from head to toe, so you don't have to give them any racially unique characteristics at all. Even when Tali reveals her face, it's just human, little bit of forehead wrinkle. I can't express this enough, that the alien women aren't given faces, that they're not allowed to have faces, and that's weird. It's a really weird choice. Creating elaborate lore to explain why there are no women apart from the ones with sexy blue alien titties.
She is a lovely shade of blue.
Does not excuse the fact that those female characters aren't there. The excuse that we didn't have any time and it was too difficult to create female versions of our alien races is a lie. And there's no reason why male and female Turians couldn't look alike. I mean, not all animals on Earth have sexual dimorphism, so why should alien species, why should they follow our rules? Have some voiced by women, have some voiced by male. Give their gender in dialogue, or maybe they don't have our concept of gender at all. Why should they follow the gender politics that are present on Earth? And in the female character models, the ones we have, there's a notable discrepancy between men and women in the Mass Effect universe. All the women are hot, but not all the men are. Look, I know what you're rushing to say in the comments, that Rex is daddy AF and we all want to get on the train to Pound Town.
I can kill criminals.
You're bluffing.
You're right. They're actually going to let me eat you.
The male aliens are designed to look alien. While it's important to note that monster fucking and alien fucking have long celebrated histories for those who want to express, explore and examine ideas and feelings about sex, gender and desire in a safe space, male aliens look weird. They're bizarre. They're as creative and imaginative and unique as the creators can do, while female aliens are skinny women with big titties who might be green, they might be blue, they might have a little bit of forehead wrinkle, but are ultimately designed to be purposefully sexually appealing. Female aliens aren't allowed to be as weird, as gross, as wonderfully unusual as their male counterparts. They're not as militaristic, as violent, as jingoistic, as anything as the men around them. Even the Asari, who are scientifically adept, they're skilled fighters, they're philosophers, they're all generically attractive women with conventional ass and tits.
She is a lovely shade of blue.
They were designed in an attempt to subvert the green-skinned alien babe trope. Where is the subversion? They're still the sex object of the universe. How is this not just the trope played straight? But Jess, how will we know if game is adult and mature and serious unless we have an entire race of alien hot women who do stripping and wear skin-tight outfits? Or how will we know if the one robot lady isn't a literal sex robot whose circuitry and skin is designed to look like she's wearing lingerie and thigh highs at all times? Again and again, science fiction lets me down. Another world, another galaxy, Another franchise where feminine presented bodies are consumable objects. The universe of Mass Effect could have had endless possibilities of form, of shape, presentation, of culture, but it ends up orbiting around the same narrow gaze as the society we has, with straight men assumed to be the default and the world created to appeal to their tastes, desires and interests. The women aren't allowed to be ugly. And that really dug under my skin and my ability to feel lost in this world. This universe wasn't designed with me as the player. Uncoupling unconscious drives or inbuilt assumptions that our viewpoint is the default is difficult. It takes a real examination of ourselves and active work to avoid simply assuming that a character would look out onto their world through our own eyes. The male aliens are the default because male shepherd is the default, because men are the default. It's really telling that creating even the most basic of differences, and less titties, was seen as being too difficult. Because it's not an issue at all. They just didn't want to do the work. They couldn't conceive of, say, creating a universe where women are the default. That these cultures and societies might be dominated by women and bear no similarity to contemporary North American or European cultures. Have men be the ones kept in isolated clans, concerned with the childcare and fertility and all the feminine stuff. Include more races who don't have sexual dimorphism, a gender binary, or where queerness or a lack of gender roles is the norm. I think this ties into why the game designers were so surprised that Garrus became so popular with female players. Garrus's design was not created with sexual desirability in mind, so why would people find his character to be appealing? His appeal lies in his personality, his flaws, his awkwardness, his banter, and in his alien nature. He is appealing through being inhuman, the perception of safety that lies beyond our narrow spectrum, and the feeling to be free to explore the boundary of your own desire. And as the new Mass Effect is announced, another way for Bioware to try and fix their ruined reputation by adding more to a story that was already pretty well concluded, all I can hope for is, well, I hope they're not subjecting their development teams to crunch conditions and Bioware magic that directly impact on their physical and mental health, for a start. But after that, I want there to be more experimentation, to lift the veil on looking at the world through the eyes of anyone other than just a straight guy, just a straight cis guy. To make a world that is as weird and wonderful and bizarre as an alien galaxy should be. To be well beyond the boundaries that we all face in this world. And be truly free. And let me romance a lady, Krogan. That's all I really want. But no, this was me doing a close-up because I did space makeup in honor of Mass Effect. But no, if you like this video, like, share, subscribe, sympathize with my burnout. If you didn't like this video, also engage with it, because no matter how you engage with it, it gets boosted by the algorithm, because that's the hell world that we live in. But if you really liked it, you can leave me a tip on coffee. I surely shouldn't be this close. You don't want to be this close to my face. Leave me a tip on coffee if you like it. I'm hopefully going to be back to history-based content, but I needed a break after teaching for so long. But yeah, see you soon, I suppose.